Well, I know I've already won some fans in the previous video I did about the hit of Pasta on Lindgren. Now, no suspension came down. There's an article shared to me that I thought was very, very interesting. So I'm going to add this to the stream. It talks about David Pastrnak not facing supplemental discipline. There's going to be no suspension. But the most important part of this article, at least in my personal opinion, is Montgomery's statements about the hit. This is what he had to say. Very surprised. I thought it was 2 minutes. I don't think he hits him anywhere near his numbers. I think he hits him on the front of his shoulder. Unfortunately, Lindgren got hurt. So if there's blood, it affects the call. Apologize for all the ads. This website definitely one I'm never going back to. If I compare that hit to its hits I've seen, like when Brad Marchand got hit, blast from behind, head first into the boards, I think that's more of a 5-minute major for me. I guess I'm glad I'm not a ref. I wouldn't like to make those calls. So I'm going to use the footage that I showed. And I know people got really upset. It was weird. It's 50-50. People got upset that I said he could have pivoted. Admittedly, that is how I was coached. That's how a lot of the guys I've coached youth hockey, make sure you protect yourself in the board. I don't know how you could say he didn't really see him. I mean, that's pretty clear cut. He didn't hit him in the shoulder. He sees the numbers. And he finishes him at the numbers. Now, I do a breakdown a little bit more thorough in this previous video. You can go to that. It's just, for me, while I am a Bruins fan, and I even said this in the video, that's a penalty, at the very least. And this might get me a little bit of flack from Bruins fans, but I wouldn't have been mad if he got a game suspension for that. Because it's a dangerous hit. It's a very, very dangerous hit. He sees his numbers the whole way. Now, does Lindgren pivot to his right? And I don't think that's what people understood what I was talking about, right? Because I understand he's trying to push the puck along. I know some people got really annoyed, but look, he's skating normally. And then see, he's pivoting. He's like kind of pivoting to move the puck along. Like he's turning so he can get his backhand, throw it up the boards to Panarin. I just believe in these situations when you're feeling pressure, and I've seen this. I've seen guys actually break their necks. So this is why I have a very strong stance on this. I was coaching on a bench. It was unfortunate. One of my players, he hit a kid a little bit too late, and it was in West Warwick, and the kid ended up actually breaking his neck. Now, fortunately, he's made a full recovery. I think he went on to still play hockey, if I remember correctly. It's just, for me, it's something I don't want to see from anybody. I think you're putting yourself in a susceptible position, very vulnerable, where you can get seriously hurt. And that's been my only complaint. But, Pasta, like what are you doing? That makes no sense. So for Montgomery to say that was shoulder to shoulder, I mean, the beginning of this play, he's behind him the whole way. He even he lifts into the hit. I don't know how you could say that was a shoulder-to-shoulder contact. He saw the numbers all the way. So I've always said that was definitely a penalty. I just worry is when I see that from players where they're shifting, it's like shit can go south really fucking quick. And I just want players to protect themselves. It's not a macho thing. I saw that in the comment of the video. No, it's not a macho thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying you need to make sure you protect yourself as much as you possibly can. That's it. It's not a macho, back in my day type shit. No. I mean, some of the shit they used to do when I played high school hockey, yeah, you could not fucking do anymore for sure, right? Like there was, I remember playing at Mount St. Charles and there was fucking cages still for glass for sections of the fucking ice rink. So yes, that's, I think they finally got rid of those. It was due to historical reasons they kept them, but that's a whole different conversation. I understand the game has changed, but a player should always try to prevent themselves being put in a spot where you're relying on another player to show restraint. And as for Montgomery's comments, I'll be very honest here. I'm assuming these had to be right after the game. I hope it wasn't the next day, because that was clearly from behind the whole way through. Pasta saw his numbers and he didn't let up. And there's a history between those two. I understand that. So do I believe that should have been suspension? Was I mad about the ejection? Well, I wasn't mad about the ejection because I understood it. You wanted to keep this game under control. Now, do I think that hurt the Bruins? I mean, absolutely. But Pasta's got to know not to do that in that situation. So that's his own fault. He hurt his team. As for suspension, I think that probably should have been a game, if I'm being honest. It's a very reckless hit. Very, very reckless. At the very least, a game I wouldn't have been mad at. Like, would I be throwing pitchforks up if I was a Rangers fan and I saw like he didn't get anything? I'd be a little pissed, huh? I mean, I'd understand it. And I understand Bruins fans are trying to justify it, saying like, oh, well, he turned into it and all that. As a player that is trying to throw the hit, you also got to show restraint. All day long, that's definitely a pen. I think the ejection makes sense. And I would have understood a game suspension at the very least, because you can't have that in the game. I probably got caught up in the moment, but still, it's just inexcusable. And as for Montgomery's comments, I definitely disagree. I didn't really see that as a shoulder-to-shoulder hit. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section about the whole Pastrnak situation. Do you believe he shouldn't have faced any suspension? Do you think the NHL got it right? Or should he have been suspended a game or two? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I am Captain Paul. I'll see you in the next one.